I love the cheesy smile. Good afternoon, good evening, welcome. Definitely good evening. It is 9 o'clock in the other end of this country. Welcome to Moms Who Resell. It is a weekly live show. I'm a mom, I resell, and I get guests that also resell that are also moms. So, what a great place to be on a Friday night and chatting all things resell. So, I have a very special guest tonight. This guest is actually someone new. I've never met her before. So, she actually reached out to me from my channel because I'm always wanting to meet other reselling moms. So she reached out to me, sent me an email introducing herself, and I invited her on the show. So I am excited to get to know her tonight with you guys. If you can give me a warm welcome, I have Stephanie, also known as, I'm going to butcher it. Is it Lady Suburbia? So welcome, Stephanie. I am so excited to have you. Yes,
Hey,
Lady Suburbia.
hi
Like, was it
Jennifer.
Suburbia Lady? Yeah, Lady Suburbia.
You were right on it. Hey, Christy, I see some. I know Texas Mom's Closet. What's up, girl? How you doing? Thank you
Hey,
so much for popping
welcome.
in.
Yes.
Thanks for having me,
So,
Jennifer.
Stephanie,
So excited to be
why
here.
don't you just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself? Introduce yourself, how many kids you have, where you live, just a quick rundown so people get an idea of who you are.
Absolutely. I'm Stephanie with Lady Suburbia, and I'm a part-time reseller on multiple platforms, with eBay being the number one. That's just, Jennifer, we love us some eBay, right? And I live in Texas. I'm from Hawaii originally, born and raised, but I've been in Texas for a while, North Texas, probably about an hour from Oklahoma. I have two children. I have a 16-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old boy. And I have been married for, don't quote me on this, but I think 18 years. I have to do the math.
Wow.
But so that's a little bit about me. Fellow Texan, yes, yes.
Wonderful. Yay. And let me hide that. And how did you get started in reselling? Are you there?
I am
Did I
here.
freeze?
So how
Okay,
did we
yes.
get
How did you
started
get
in
started in
reselling? There you
reselling?
are. Yay. I guess I most like everyone is just selling your items, you know what I mean, out of necessity. I was in a
Yep.
situation where I needed to bring another income into the household, and although I was working full time, extra money was important, especially when you have little ones that are now grown.
Hmm.
And so I just started looking at different avenues of making some extra cash, and figured I could sell this and that. And I love thrifting, and I love going to stores and finding deals. And it eventually led to a business where I had my own online store, and that was tough. That's why I love eBay, because it's very hard to
Hmm.
to have your own website. And I
Oh
went to
yeah.
vendor events, right? It's tough, and it's very
And it's
challenging. So
expensive.
it
Trying to
is.
get
You
the
have to pay
traffic is expensive.
for hosting. You have to pay to design it. Now, this is probably 10, 12 years ago. Now there's a lot of templates that you can drag and drop, but it wasn't like that before, and you had to be a graphic designer.
Right.
Now I just use Canva, and it's much easier. But it just
Right.
worked out. After a while, that business sort of failed, and I moved on to other things, and I have a marketing company as well. That's why I'm part-time as a reseller, and
Oh,
decided
yeah.
I was gonna resell. And here I kept Lady Suburbia. It was part of my marketing company. It was a project that failed, subscription boxes. I was in beta testing and focus groups. It was just terrible. And so I kept the URL, guys, and I just kept the website. I think I paid 4 or 3 years. And so when I decided to turn it and to name it, and I realized I already had Lady Suburbia. So that's how it turned out.
Yep. Gotcha. So the marketing side, that's what you do full time? Is that your business or do you work for a company?
No, I have two businesses, and I usually have my marketing business is very seasonal, similar to reselling. Right now it's a little slow, Jennifer, until we get the checks, right? That's coming in the
Yep.
next few months, and
Tax
then summer
refund
kind of,
season,
and then
Christmas
quarter four is like,
2.0.
yes, quarter four and Christmas, all that. So my marketing company is about to kick off again, and so I contract with corporations, mainly nonprofits that support entrepreneurs. And so I come in and I help with,
Amazing.
I go to events for them. I come in and advise small businesses and other things. So I have two passions and I love them both because I feel like I'm making an impact in both. And when one is slow, then I have the other one to fall back on.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We've got Nutter here. Welcome. And yeah,
Hello,
Christy,
Nutter.
work with what you have. If you already got the name branded, there's no reason to come up with another one. Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean, geez, how did you come with your name, Jennifer? I mean, I know you're in the
It
desert,
was
but was
not
it just,
creative. It was just, I
tell us?
think there
Yeah.
was another something sellers, and then it was just, I live in the desert. So it was not creative at all. It just worked. And Desert
It
Seller
works,
was already taken, so I had to make it plural. That was it. Not creative at all. But it works
but
because
it
I do live
works.
in the desert and I love cactus and all things desert. So it works out.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So with your kiddos, how are they involved with the or with the business as well as your husband? Does he help you with your businesses?
To a point, I think, they all have their calendars and schedules and activities, but my husband and my son, they test video games. So
There
I know
you
you
go.
guys
We got
test
to
a
have
lot of
one of
video games.
those.
I'm an avid follower, guys. So I'm telling you, this is a great opportunity to be on her show. But I know she mentions often that her husband is testing videos and kiddos, and so does my kids. They test the PS4 games, the Wii games. We have a Wii.
Yep.
They test those and they love it because it's not really work. And then sometimes my
Exactly. Here,
son will
play
help me with
Mario for 10
labels.
minutes and
Right.
tell me how it
Just
goes.
I like just test it. Just this is a we resort now. We resort. It's kind of tanking a little bit, but it still holds some value. But I was like, just test it, and then my son will start playing like 30 minutes. I'm like, whoa, hold on, like test the other one. But that's how I get
Yep.
them involved. I try and find them games or can you open this up with this? He gets a little screwdriver, my 9-year-old, and I'm like, can you put batteries and test this toy? And although I don't sell a lot of toys, I'm just like, hey, can you do this? And he's like, gung ho. My teenager,
Yep.
not so much. She has a full schedule, but every now and again she'll test some things for me. But usually the guys are the ones that are testing even the cameras in GoPros
Yeah.
or any electronic equipment or toys. They count pieces to games. I don't list a lot of games, but my son will go and count the pieces.
There
So
you
I try and
go.
get them involved where it's really not work. So
Yeah. And it keeps them busy and they feel involved by helping you organize or count or separate or any of that. But there was a bin
parts.
of AV equipment that I found at my thrift yesterday. And I was talking to another reseller. I'm
Mhm.
like, oh no, I can't buy this. My husband would kill me if I bought this. It was a whole, like a rolling cart full of AV gear. Like it had all the different amplifiers and ports and just a ton of gear. So he knows what all of it is, but I'm like, that's probably 6 to 10 hours of testing for him. The guy won't do that to him.
Oh,
Plus, they wanted like $500 for it. So I'm like, nah, I'll save it.
oh, that's a
Gina, welcome.
yay.
Yay.
It is fun to get them involved though, but that would be a project definitely. That would be a big
Yeah.
project.
And not as fun. The video games, like when I bring home the Guitar Heroes, he's like, okay, I'll test it. And then, yeah, he's rocking out for 30 minutes. Lincoln says hi. Mom. All right, let's see. Let's pick another question.
Yay, look at it.
What is your favorite niche and one you wish you knew more about?
My favorite by far is video games and thermostats. So I would
Thermostats.
say
That's
that's more of a
random.
category, but the market would be more of small electronics. I
Yeah.
know. So small electronics. So hard goods, but smaller electronics. And the reason being is when I had an office, I would sell parts, printer parts. You sell a lot of parts and accessories, right? But I don't
Right.
have the space that I had before. Now I'm in the home office. So I had to get rid of all those big items. And now I'm sourcing more smaller items. And I still love those big printers. I just don't have the space. But I love thermostats because people don't realize that you can make a lot of money selling thermostats. And I love video games. Just it's easy. I get the family involved, they test it. But
Yep.
the category or that I want to be more experienced in is golf clubs. So I
Okay.
really want to get more experience in golf clubs because I just, I sold some golf clubs recently, and there is just this market. If it's really good, if it's a good brand, and
Yep.
even if it has a bunch of marks on it, there is a market and people will pay hundreds of dollars
100%.
for golf
I
clubs.
just sold
And it's
one
so easy to ship.
yesterday. I just sold a golf club
Yeah.
yesterday for $200. I paid $2 for it at a country club estate,
Okay.
like parking lot sale. $2 and it sold for 200. And I drop it off today at
That's
UPS and
amazing.
he's like, "Oh, a
I
golf
love it.
club." I'm like,
I sold
how did
one.
you
It's
know?
EVNROLL. I don't know how to pronounce.
You know. You know. Wait for me.
I think we're losing your audio, Stephanie.
Are we good now?
Okay, now I hear you. Sorry. You were spelling something and then I
Okay.
lost you.
It's EVNROLL. So I don't know how to pronounce that, but I
Okay.
sold this zero mallet, and it has a square, it's a mallet. So it's like a square mallet, and it's 34 inches. I saw it at Salvation Army, which I rarely shop at,
Mm-hmm.
only if I'm getting clothing, and I don't sell a lot of clothing. But I walked in and it was in a golf bag with like 12 other clubs, and some of them were not worth anything, but I pulled out maybe 5 or 6. So including the bag, you're looking at 7, and it came out to about $15 plus taxes. So I
Mm-hmm.
sold that for $265, and my out of pocket was about
Nice.
$3. So I was like, I need to
That's
find more of these, and I've
awesome.
sold others in the past. And it's so
Yep.
cheap, guys. Like it's so cheap to
Oh
ship.
yeah.
UPS, it was $7, seven, eight
Yeah. The
dollars to
one I
ship.
just dropped
So
off, I think, was $9 and change. So
you
yeah,
can't beat it.
they're cheap to ship.
And you like hard goods too. I mean, I know you've been working the bins a lot, but your favorite category, I think you said you started off just selling everything like us, like toys and all these things. I don't sell a lot of toys. That's
Mm-hmm.
like my weakness. What
Yep.
categories do you prefer to?
I've been gravitating more towards, I think in my numbers, when I was looking at last year, sporting goods
Mhm.
tended to be pretty high because of that
Oh,
high profit margin. When I'm looking at
mhm,
baseball bats that sell for 200 and golf clubs that sell for 200, those much bigger
mhm.
margins put that one really high. Another category that was high was men's boots and hats. But that was only
Oh,
because I had the source and I was getting
you're a boot
boots for like
dealer.
$30 that were selling for
Mhm,
150. So those naturally became the higher margin, higher selling categories, but physically, it's got to still be those hard goods. Just the random, like the thermostats, the air purifiers.
mhm.
Like, I keep finding them at my bins. The Clarifon plug-in little air purifiers. I'm finding those
Oh, yeah.
every week, and they're selling for $50 to $60 every week. So those do really well, and they're small. So it's just like small. Sorry, I'm not putting my hands in screen. And so they ship in a poly bag for hardly anything. So I like the small stuff too. I think I like the small because it fits in banker boxes, so I don't have to store it high and stacked to the ceiling.
Mhm.
Um, Easier to ship, of course. So I like the smaller stuff, but sometimes it's hard to say no to a printer that's brand new in its box. And even though this thing's a honking beast, I'm gonna make over $100. It's worth it, but
Yes.
or 200. Okay. Oh, if it's worth
Yeah, just
grabbing, I should
try
say.
to have a balance of the big ones and the small ones.
Yeah,
Yes,
just for storage.
absolutely.
Like you, I just have one room and it's overflowing. The big stuff ends up in the garage, but we keep cars in the garage. So there's only so much room
Mhm.
to grow. So it's got to be boxable
Yes.
stuff. Some of your favorite places to source, Gina's asking. You
Ooh.
start out.
I love sourcing at thrift stores. And I know
Are
that
they still good
the
by
thrift
you?
stores in my area is going to, they're pretty good. We don't have access to bins. I mean, I would say we do, but it's about an hour and a half from where I live. And estate sales and garage sales can be hit or miss, but I think of the weather and when it's cold in Texas, people aren't having
Oh, I
in the
think you
area that
froze
I
again.
really enjoy. And
Oh,
probably
good.
about
All right, waiting for her to buffer here. Welcome, Caroline. Excited to have you. No garage sales lately. Yeah, if you because you guys get like ice storms and crazy Texas weather. So when you're cold, you're cold. And the other part about parking in the garage, we also get pack rats. So if you park outside, they will move into your car. They'll go underneath your hood and put all these little like mesquite pods. Those end up in there and they chew your wires. And these pack rats are evil. So the garage is also to protect from that.
ooh,
Can you hear me? Okay, there you are. Welcome back. I hear
ooh,
you. Do you hear me?
pack rats. I do, but pack
Okay.
rats, oh goodness. You really have to be mindful of them, like, and they just eat up everything and the wires, and that's crazy. We don't
Yep.
have that problem
It-
here in Texas.
Yeah, it's a
Rats.
very
Oh my
Arizona
goodness.
thing. My sister actually sent me a picture today of a pack of javelinas. So that's another Arizona thing. I'm like, that's totally Arizona. So they're basically a wild pig, but they smell really bad. They smell like
Oh,
they're rotting, but they're not nice. So luckily they're not very smart. So they're I think they're blind. They go by their senses rather than seeing. They smell,
oh
so
my
they can
goodness.
attack their prey by smell, but they live around here like squirrels live in mountains. Like they're just everywhere you look, like at different times of day, underneath the bridges, you'll see javelina family. So they're weird. Okay, I got to show you what a javelina is.
Yes, please, because I'm trying to picture it, and I got to see a picture.
Okay,
I got to see
these
a
are the
picture.
ugliest things, and they're big and like fat. Okay, there's a javelina,
Oh
but
my
think of
goodness.
him as the size of like a large dog.
No.
So they're big. And then like here's one with his little baby.
No,
So
a family right there.
they're totally
I would
yeah,
run
we
the
see them.
opposite way.
And then like coyotes, we get coyotes, we get roadrunners, which roadrunners do not look like what I thought they would look like. So Warner Brothers has some explaining to do because I was expecting a roadrunner to be like 4 foot tall. They're not. They're not. Oh,
How
Katie's
big are
here.
they?
Welcome. Fellow
I don't
desert
know anything
dweller.
about
She
road
knows what I'm
runners.
talking
Are
about.
they pretty small?
Yeah, they're like a normal bird. Like they look so quail and roadrunners look identical, except quail have a little mohawk. So if you know what a quail looks like, you know what a
Okay.
roadrunner looks like. During COVID, when we
Okay.
weren't driving much, they ate up all the wiring in my husband's truck. Yep. And that's why here,
Yes.
so Katie lives in my same town. And so a lot of times people will put flashing lights under their cars. They'll have like strobe lights basically under their cars, or they'll put like rope lighting around that they park into because there's a lot of open garages where people have more like a carport rather than a closed garage. And you'll see the lights that are on in there so that it keeps all the critters away. Because they do,
Ooh.
they full on move into a car and they'll put my husband has a car, a race car that he it's his baby. He'll never get rid of this thing. So he had it parked outside before we realized how bad these critters were. And he goes to start the car
Mhm.
one time. He comes back home and he's smelling something burning. He's like, "Okay, what am I smelling?" So he opens up the hood and it's full of all the dried up mesquite pods. Like, he's lucky the car didn't
Oh,
start on fire because he went and ran errands
right.
with it full of these pods and came home and then just started smelling it. So, oh yeah, they're evil and they're chewing through the wires and yeah,
What do
very,
you do
very
in that
expensive.
situation? How do
You
you
can
clean
trap them. You can do,
it? Like,
there's bait stations. So, I mean, it's not the humane way to take care of it, but if you need to keep them
hmm,
off your property, there's ways. There are ways.
okay.
Oh, yep, Gina, you're in Phoenix. Do you have the
I'm glad we don't
javelina
have
and
that.
pack rats up there too? Oh, and they chew up patio furniture.
I don't
Yeah,
think
you
we
can't have
do.
nice things because these
Mhm.
stinkers chew up everything. They're awful. I used to live in
No,
Gilbert and
I don't think
Chandler,
we have
so
those
yep,
in
up
Texas.
north.
My goodness.
Yeah,
I
we've
just learned
got
something
crazy
new.
stuff here. And then, of course, our
That's just
rattlesnakes.
okay.
That's the norm. Those are anytime I send the kids outside to go play, it's you have to do a critter check, look in all the corners, look for snakes, look for scorpions, tarantulas. I don't love the desert. I don't know why I live here. There's too many big, icky things.
Have you
Ladybug
been
pit
living
grip
there for
welcome.
you've been there for a while or like what how long have you been in the desert?
2016. So we're coming up on 8 years. And before that, born and raised in Colorado. So the worst thing we had were spiders. Like, that was it.
Right.
So here, there's much bigger and worse, scary things.
Ooh,
Let's see.
snakes
Yeah.
and spiders. No, I don't do snakes or spiders at
Yeah.
all.
Not a fan. Not a fan. We have a really
Not
good
at
exterminator. So he's my best friend. And then whenever we get stuff, we just call him. And then luckily, because rattlesnakes are known here, the fire department will actually come and pick them up and relocate them for you. So that's part of our taxes is paying for the fire department, of course. That's part of how our city is run. And the fire
mhm.
department will come, they'll show up in just an average truck. This is just what they do, not put out fires, but this is the department that does calls, house calls. They show up with a box and a big long pinchy thing. And they come and they pinch
You
him,
just
throw him in the box,
get
and
him
I'm sure he comes back a month later, but sends him in the desert.
back.
Like, what's going to
No,
keep him
no,
from coming
no.
back? So I don't know, but at least he's out of my front yard.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about this business?
I would say it's the flexibility that I have with not just my family, but with other activities because I'm not just a mom or an aunt or a cousin or a sister or a husband, a wife. I'm Stephanie, right? And if
Yeah.
I need to be somewhere, if I want to go on vacation, right? I don't. My husband has to look at his work schedule and plan it out. I could easily say, okay, you have an event in 2 weeks, and all right, no problem. I don't have to worry about missing some of those special moments at my
Right.
children's school if they get awards. And so I do
Yeah.
love the flexibility because I've been reselling since 2008. So it's a long time. I've been
Yeah.
self-employed since that.
Amazing. Oh, I think you froze
I go
again.
to
There you are.
Atlanta. I mean, I still have to plan it out. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have to tell anyone. I don't have to put it on the
Yep.
calendar and get it requested
Request
and
the
get someone to
time off
request it
and
and
yeah.
yes and approve but you also take a hit sometimes when you go on those vacations but I enjoy that's probably the biggest right Christy the biggest flexibility is that's all I can say. That's probably the best things. And I love the sales. I love the income. I love all those things. But just knowing, I think you said your kids were sick last week or one of your videos, and you're like, I didn't list.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't up to
Yeah.
it. I wasn't feeling like it. I had to do my mom stuff, and you caught up.
Yep.
But you're like, I was able to
Exactly.
take that break, and yeah,
Focus where you need to focus. 100%.
100,
Ooh, Caroline,
100%.
you grew up in Colorado. Which part were you in?
Ooh,
I grew up in the Denver metro area. That's where I went to elementary and high school. And then my husband lived up north, in Greeley or Evans, but technically Greeley. And that's where we ended up before moving out here. So kind of the middle and up. Lots of critters. Yes. We have all of that in San Antonio, not as bad here on the East Texas. Okay. Born in the UK, moved to Canada, now Arizona. Wow, what a difference.
very
I bet that's
international right
lots of
there.
change.
That is a
I do
lot.
like Arizona. Oh, Sedona's gorgeous. That's my quiet place. My sister and I like to do little sister weekends up in Sedona because it's
Mhm.
not kid friendly. I think there's maybe 5 kids in that whole city at one time. Like it is not kid friendly at all. So it's nice to go somewhere and not hear kids talk like screaming and bickering, and it's just a very adult place to be, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Mhm.
Love it, love it. We only have to answer to ourselves. Yes. Central near Alamosa. Yeah, I was never on that side. I stayed right up in the I-25 lineup. Let's see, what is your biggest pet peeve in reselling?
Ooh. As much as I love listing, I do not like cleaning. So
The
I do not like peeling
worst part.
tags off and the scraping. So I try to find items that do not need a lot of cleaning. If it's batteries and I'm just wiping
Yes.
down, with a magic eraser, that's fine. But if I have to spend a lot of time cleaning an item,
Mommy?
I think I just leave it for another seller or another buyer. I just leave it on the shelf unless
100%.
it's gonna
100%.
it's gonna yes, unless it's gonna bring in hundreds of dollars, maybe. But for the most part, nope, no, thank
Yeah.
you, no,
That's how
thank
I
you.
was at the beginning. I was picking up all of them, like, oh, clean these up. And then I'm like, I'm not in the shoe cleaning business. So if it's not clean enough to list, I'm not even going to buy it. And I'm sure I leave lots of good shoes and stuff behind, but it's not worth it to me. I don't want to clean them.
Mama?
You want to say hi?
Yeah.
All right. Lincoln would like to say hi.
Hi.
Hi,
All right. Let's see who
hi,
else is
you're on
chatting.
camera.
Let's see the chat bubble. Daughter is in Leadville. Very cold. Yes. Just all of Colorado's
That's
cold
so
right now.
cool.
Looking forward to checking out
I like.
Sedona.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
it is just
cool. I sold
absolutely
some shoes that had like.
magical.
Oh, sorry.
Look at them.
Oh, you're
In
okay.
the wash.
Mama.
I've sold shoes with dirt
Look at
on it
Aw, Katie said
because I followed a couple of shoe resellers and sold it with dirt. Hey, you're so cute. It's the cutest.
in the wash. I'm always nervous to put them into the full wash, like just throw them in the washing machine. So I just sell them as is. I used to go, like, I was watching a bunch of Harry Tornado videos, and he used there's like a pen of blue goop, and he would goop it and scrub it, and it was like I don't know if it was OxyClean. I don't even know what the heck it was, some kind of blue goop, and it cleans shoes pretty well, but I'm like, it's not worth it. Even the golf clubs. I used to have washing sessions in my laundry room, scrubbing the golf club heads. Like, what am I getting? An extra $10? That's not worth my hour plus time scrubbing these things. They come as is.
You're right.
They
And
aren't
people will buy them
sweet.
dirty. I mean, but I sold a bunch of shoes dirty in the Poshmark. I mean, they're not filthy, but they had some rocks and some things I just couldn't get in the creases. I was like trying to get in the crevices, and
Yep.
I just left one or two, and it still sold for like 60 something dollars. So I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I just don't have the time to go through that. And some people do, and that's their business model,
Right.
which is perfectly fine. And that's why I leave them on the
100%.
shelves for them. I just rather focus on other things.
Yep. Exactly. That's why there's always room for resellers because there's the ones that want to put the effort and time into cleaning stuff, sewing
Mhm.
stuff, repairing stuff, like furniture. Maybe they want to fix it up and strip it and repaint it. And like there's a market for everybody. So it's just not my market. I'll save it for the person that
You're right.
is. All right, some of the juicy stuff. What are some of your best and your worst buys or flips?
Ooh. Ooh, so this is where when I was selling bigger electronics. I just stopped selling bigger electronics in like June when I moved out of my office. So right now I'm selling more smaller ones. However, probably about a year ago, I was at Goodwill and walked in and they had these sealed, one was open box. Some Sony DVD slash DVR something recorder. You know those ones, Jennifer, where
Mm-hmm.
it's
Combo
you look up the
players. Yep.
model and it says $450 or something new, and you're like, what? And it was 19.99 each. And so I bought them both, put one on auction, and I listed one. And they both sold collectively. So I spent $40 and one sold for over $300 and the other one sold for right under $300. So it was maybe
Wow.
40 into $600. And I was kind of, maybe it's 2 years ago. It was more fresh in me putting a little bit more effort in my reselling business. And I've never had a score like that with that particular, DVR, DVD combo, but they were both brand new and they had Best Buy stickers on them.
Amazing.
And I went through, I had to open it because I didn't want it to be rocks, right? Because one was open, one was
Right.
sealed. So I opened them just to show the pictures and make sure that, they didn't resell it. It was a return. And it literally sold within days. 7 days because of the
Wow.
auction, but the other one sold. And that was probably one of my best flips, along with that the golf club that I got for a few
Mhm.
bucks that sold for $260. And I remember one of your
Wow.
videos you had mentioned, oh, I put this on, someone made me an offer, I listed something, and I could have got more for it, but I only got it for a few bucks. So I'm not going to be greedy or selfish. I just want it off my shelf, and I could have gotten more for it, but I just wanted it sold. It wasn't taking up a lot of space, but
Exactly.
I knew that it was going to sell. Get it
Yep.
done,
Take the
right?
win where
Just
you
get
can
it out
get
the
it.
door.
You know you got it cheap.
Absolutely.
Just take the win. And
Absolutely.
then
And
you
then
got
my
300
worst
bucks
flip,
to spend it on something else.
you know what? I use that $300 to buy more things, and
Yep.
I still have that lot of those golf clubs. I probably will make another $500-600 on, and I spent $15 plus taxes. So there's plenty more left. But my worst flip was, I'm not proud of it, Jennifer and everybody in the chat. Hey, saying hi again. I went on Goodwill online. So Goodwill, they have some auctions, and I don't go on Goodwill to buy
Shopgoodwill.com.
things
Yep.
anymore. Yes, and I saw this Wii, and I can't pronounce it, but I think it's like Colonia, Klonoa. And I was so pumped up
Okay.
because I realized it was very rare. I spent over $300 on that. Never would I ever spend $300 on that again. It just sold a few weeks ago. So it took 2 years and it sold for $95.
Oh
Talk about,
no.
and I felt horrible because it was
That one
sealed.
had to hurt.
It did hurt, and I had it. I didn't even have it in my office. I had it like on the desk, the small desk I have in my bedroom, and it was wrapped up in bubble wrap because it was $300, and I didn't want it with the other games, and I had it in this like where my bills are at, and I had it in this like I was being so specific with it. I'm like, this is $350, and I listed in a Macari, no, nothing. A lot of likes, no offers. Poshmark, nothing. And of course, I always have it
Yeah.
on eBay. And it finally sold, and I had it discounted. Like I was pretty much giving it away. I just wanted to get rid of it, and I was not my best one, guys. It was not, but you know what?
He froze again. Yeah, it's hard with those tough ones that you've paid up for and you're just hoping to break even. And Wees used to do really good. Wees were super hot during COVID. They were going like $150 a piece during COVID. And now it's like, yeah, I can't even give them away. I still have a couple that are in box. I didn't pay quite as much for them, but I'm still hoping to make my money back, and they're still sitting there. So the darn switch. I'm blaming the switch. It took over. Oh, I don't hear you, Steph. I lost your audio. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, there you are.
So
Okay.
this a game that I will not purchase again. It was sealed and nice and just limited edition. There was only a few made, and I thought someone would buy it, and it
Yeah.
didn't. But they did, and I just move on to something else and know not to spend
Yep.
that much on an item unless I knew. And this is before, which Jennifer teaches, guys. I'm really, I really want you guys to like dig deep and take a look at people on YouTube and other resellers on social media, because you can learn like little nuggets from everyone, whether you're just starting off or you've been selling for a long time. Uh,
Hmm.
you gotta take the wins, right? Definitely, but you also need to know that sometimes you're gonna buy something that's not gonna flip and that's not gonna flip quickly, and sometimes you find these other items that you would never thought would sell. Like there's some items I'm thrifting and I'm like, what is this? And I'll do Google image, right? I do a Google lens and I'm like, this is a $200 item and they have it priced for $299. And I'm like, you can't get me off the door
Yep.
fast enough, right? You just can't. You
Yep.
can't. So with all those losses, there are more wins than losses. I don't have any
Exactly.
major regrets on any other items.
Exactly. And I like how Gina said we pay to learn. And that's huge. Like how
Yes.
many college degrees are out there that are never touched and they paid tens of thousands of dollars for? You paid 300 bucks to learn We's don't have a play. Like don't put your money there. Like 300 bucks. We
Mm-hmm.
spend way more money on way worse education or education that goes to waste. That was an easy
Mm-hmm.
degree for you. So pay to learn. I love it.
Definitely. Definitely.
Laura B, welcome.
Hi, Laura.
There's so much from IG and YouTube. Yes, the best education there is. Guys, from pure hustle,
Definitely.
say it's your tuition. You learn from the mistakes. Yep, love it.
I agree. I
All
agree
right, so now
100%.
into more of the momming stuff. What are some of your biggest obstacles that you have to overcome as a mom, a reseller, and an entrepreneur?
I would say it's time management. That's the hardest thing for me. And mom guilt. Like not
Yeah,
not having that mom guilt. Uh I try to work while my kids are at school, and but then I also, since I work from home, I get sidetracked with, oh, I got to put something in the laundry, or oh, what's for dinner? I think I'll go to the grocery store today. Or maybe I won't go to the grocery store, but let me get on my app and order from Kroger for pickup or delivery. And then I just get sidetracked in all these other things. Oh, so and so needs this for school. Oh, there's a birthday party. And then before you know it, it's time to pick up my youngest. And I'm like, oh my
right.
gosh. And then while he's home with me doing his homework, I'm listing and creating drafts. And I feel sometimes I feel guilty, but then I realize, I can include him and have him test things and go through some of the games where, not every day, but where he can be involved and he gets excited. He watches your show. He watches a lot of shows with me, and I just realized that time management is just something that I'm not gonna get down. I really try. I try my best to
Just try
block
your
out things
best,
and say this is what I'm gonna do today and tomorrow, but that is one of the
but life
biggest
happens.
obstacles. Is I'd be a wife, yes, and a mom, and two businesses, and my contract here, and oh, now I have to go here, and then the gym, and all these things, and you get pulled
Right.
in all these areas, right? You get pulled, and then I was like, you know what? I wanted to focus 2024 on, I'm not gonna I'm not going to feel guilty if I have to work, because I do spend a lot of time with them. I spend a lot of time at their activities. I'm very involved in in what they do and their work. And if mama
Right.
needs some time to detox or to do some work, they'll be fine for that 20, 30 minutes or an
Right.
hour, because it's not going to be for 6, 7 hours at a time. It's just smaller blocks. So that's
Exactly.
probably it.
Exactly. Welcome, Kate. Oh, thank you,
Thank
Gina.
you.
Would you like to say hi? All right, here's the
Hi,
other one. Here's Liberty, who is turning
everyone.
9 on Sunday. So let's get some happy birthdays to this almost
Happy
9-year-old.
birthday. Happy
Crazy.
birthday.
You smell like chocolate.
Probably the chocolate milk.
Oh, chocolate milk. That's what I'm smelling.
Nothing wrong with chocolate.
Yes,
Chocolate
that's what's
milk
entertaining them
is
while I'm over
cool.
here. Let's see. What is
Yes.
your favorite reseller tip that you
Ooh.
wish everyone knew?
I saw this question and I was like, there are probably a few, but I would say, which is very basic, is enjoy the ride and don't get caught up in the small things. Jennifer and I
Yeah.
was talking about, reviews, then it can impact us from time to time. But if you have 2 or 3 negative reviews, think of the hundreds of positive reviews that you have. And we're human, so we're going to look at that and take a hit personally and say, well, I could have done better. I could have done this. And I think at the end of the day, if you just get up and you try and you list things and you're looking at sell-through rates and you are trying to soak things in and learning from other people, whether it be on YouTube or social media, and try to have some type of processes that there's going to be up days and down days. You're going to have cycles of your business is going to go like this and
Yep.
like this and like this. And that's being an entrepreneur. That's the roller coaster of being
100%.
just an entrepreneur. So take the good with the bad, and don't be so hard on yourself, and grant yourself a lot of grace during your reseller journey. Tons of grace.
That's
I ask for it all
beautiful.
the time. We're passing out grace cards here, like every day.
Yes. Christy,
Whether
thank
they
you so much for joining us tonight.
I know
It's good to
she's
have you
so.
on in the chat.
I know Christy's
Thank
so sweet.
you.
Thank you
Thank you,
so much,
Gina.
Christy.
And you did spell her name right. Luckily, I wanted kids with unique names, but not funny spelling names. I wanted it to still be phonetic. I don't want them to have to be like, oh, it's Liberty with 2 T's or something. Like, no, just Liberty. And then
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln, as easy as you spell Lincoln. I didn't want to torture them too much.
So
Thank you,
sweet.
Katie. Especially now Libby gets the Liberty commercials. I just tell her that
Oh,
it was made for her. So it's cool because now that she has that name, now everyone sings her song.
oh yeah,
Let's
that's
see. What is
awesome.
your hardest learning curve with reselling? Or what was the hardest learning curve?
I think we all start off in the beginning just selling things in our house. Like, oh, here's some clothes or my kids' shoes, or if you don't have little ones or they're grown, it's like, here's some old things. And that's fine in the beginning, but I think at some point is even if you're everything seller like myself, I sell pretty much anything, but stick to several categories I prefer to sell in, is really to be more knowledgeable about what you're selling and to utilize, like I mentioned, the sell-through rate and Google Lens and research. So I research now where I walk into a store or I go to a garage, so any of my sourcing trips, and I know when I walk in, 9 times out of 10, I know if that item is worth it, and there's some that I don't know and I have to research, but certain categories, oh no, those Wii games aren't worth it, or those Xbox 360s aren't worth it, or
Right.
no, that's not going to sell. Oh, that thermostat will sell probably for about $20 or asking for 15. No, but that one's going to sell for 80. I will pay 4 for
Right.
that. So you just start through practice and practice. And just like with your channel, I have a channel and I have like 3 subscribers, guys. And
Rose
better.
again.
So just throw yourself
Okay.
into reselling. Just
Yeah.
throw yourself into reselling and research. That's the best thing I can tell you in terms of my learning curve was, oh my gosh. And then each platform is different. So eBay has, seller performance standards and what they do, and then Poshmark and Macari. I mean, Macari's so laid back. I love Macari, but each platform is a little different, and so you gotta kind of know a little bit about each platform.
Right.
When you're able to do XYZ, and I just had to soak up everything, and I spent a lot of time researching. I've been just emphasizing research, but it has helped me so much as I'm out and about. And sometimes I buy things, I'm like, ooh, and I'll buy it on a whim, like the Wii game for $300. But most of the time I'm like, I think that looks well, and that looks pretty good. And then some of these items surprised me. So that's probably my biggest learning curve, is just trying to get a better handle on certain categories and what I think will sell for a higher profit, because you can sell a lot of stuff, but
it's got to be worth it.
those
Yeah. When I was starting out, I always I'll gravitate towards my normal things that I would go towards, your cameras, your CD players, whatever. And then I always wanted to look up at least 5 new things. So I'd go down like the dishes aisle and just flip up a couple plates and just learn about those brands and see, oh, these are the ones that are worth more than these ones, just to kind of build that knowledge of certain things that'll start grabbing your eye. And as you do that, it's amazing how much your brain can store, because you can look up 100 things, and then when you see it again, it's going to stick. And you're like, oh, I looked that up. But now, wait, was it a good lookup or was it a bad lookup? But I remember looking it up.
Yes.
So definitely
so
always learning. Mary, you made it. Welcome.
Like the thermostats. I love selling thermostats, guys. Like, I never thought I would be selling thermostats. I mean,
that is crazy.
It's so random.
That's not like, I'll sell them if I see them, but I don't scope them out. Like, I got one today at the bins, and it was only because it's brand new. It sells for about $60, but it was a crazy high sell-through rate. So I'm like, all right, for a 25-ish, $30 profit, I'll grab it. But yeah, thermostats aren't one I normally grab. So I'll have to
definitely
learn some more thermostats.
I sold one sold for I think over $80, another one $70.
Only the smart ones?
How I source,
or do the dumb ones sell too?
Usually the smart ones, or the touch screen ones, but I just sold, I can't think of the brand, but I just sold a brand and it was $27. And everyone's business model, guys, is totally different, right? So the reason why I'm thrifting and selling smaller items is I was telling Jennifer earlier, is that I was below standard on eBay, and I've been top standard for a while, and I had a few defects, and I was only selling probably about 100, 150 items a year. Well, I've like quadrupled that in just a few months, but I had a couple of defects, and in order to go back to where I wanted to be, I had to sell more items, and I just didn't have the resources because of how my business model is and how I pay myself for every few weeks, and I wasn't spending thousands of dollars to go up a level. I wanted to make thousands of dollars. And so I started looking at these thrift store mystery bags. So I was going through all the mystery bags and just adding it as part of my rotation. And I started scoping out. Of course, there's the Texas Instrument calculators. You know that, Jennifer, the TI calculators, they're like bread and butter, right? Those TI calculators
84s, not the 83s.
Awesome. But then I saw these
84s.
thermostats in the bag. The 84s. I'll sell the 83s too if I get them for like $1 or $2. But you're right. The 84s are really good. The Inspire's not bad, but there are other calculator brands. Texas Instruments, that's a huge bolo. And I picked up a couple bags of thermostats, and I was like, $2.99, $3.99. And so my cost of goods was $1.50 an item. And I sold all 4 thermostats in a matter of like a month. And that $3 or so, $3-4 turned into probably about $150 to $200. And keep in mind, I needed listings. So it's not just, that's a great sell. I needed more listings that was going to sell quickly, because the more I sell, then the defects go down, right? The percentage goes down, the numbers change. And so I was picking all these random items. So my store doesn't have hundreds and hundreds of dollars. You know, like I don't have one item that's listed for $400 or $500. I just don't. I needed
Mm,
numbers, and I needed to
right.
find whatever could
Quantity.
sell quickly. So I have like $5 items, $10 items, but since I'm almost where I need to be, I'm going to adjust and still look at thrift store mystery bags, but I will focus on the quality a little more and get those high value items, like buying something for $5 that's going to flip for 100, or like Jennifer does, $15 that's going to sell for $100. Like that's where the money's at. But I had to dig myself out of that hole first. So
Yeah.
that's,
Well, it sounds like it was worth it.
definitely worth it. 100%.
Chrissy, welcome. Oh, thank you, Gina. I love me some
The chat's so
Honeywells.
fun. Honeywells, guys, Honeywells, and the other off brands. Definitely
That is
check it
funny.
out.
I've sold some, but it's only because it was new in package. Like I'll just grab anything that's new in package, even if it's a box of toilet paper. I'll look it up because it's new in package. But otherwise,
Yes.
it's not something I go towards. So I'm gonna have to start looking them up.
I'm telling you, whatever you can sell.
Estate sales generally underprice them. Yeah. And I've got a
Yes, they
local
do.
thrift that usually has like buckets of them, and I'm gonna have to look them up. I'll have to let
They're
you know.
so easy. They're so easy to test, guys. Like I don't want to focus like the entire show on thermostats, but they're easy to test because most of them is just a AA battery or AAA battery. So easy.
Yeah.
So easy to
Thank
test.
you, Chrissy. And you'll have to see. I've got more lined up. So I've got who did I just get? Deanna. She's huge. If you ever follow Vendu on any of their social media, Deanna is
Yeah.
kind of their spokesperson for Vendu. She
Mhm.
physically works there. I thought she was just like a an affiliate for them, but no, she's an employee of Vendu. And so her face was all over socials. And like, all right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna reach out to her. And she agreed to be on my show. So she's gonna be on,
Yeah.
I think it's next week is hers. Don't
That's
quote me on the date. I think
awesome.
it's next week.
And
So
she's a
that one's gonna be good.
reseller.
And
I
yeah,
love her.
which is
She's
perfect. She's a mom, she's a reseller, and she works for
yeah,
Vendu. So we'll get lots of good info from her. She does, Chrissy. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mary. I was gonna give all the links at
oh,
the
you're so
end, and
sweet.
I
Oh, you
never
guys
get
are so
there.
sweet.
So thank
Definitely check it
you.
out, guys.
And
I
let's see,
enjoy
how do you see your
talking.
businesses growing this year? Your YouTube, your marketing, your
Ooh,
eBay, your all
let's
of them.
see. I
What
think
are
my
some
marketing
goals?
is more. My marketing's pretty sustainable. I'm starting a contract with the company that I contract with every year. It's like a 8 to 10 month contract, and so that's fine. That's that'll work out really good. That's my business model. There is contracting with companies that provide resources to entrepreneurs because it's really dear to my heart. I even ran a nonprofit for 5-6 years, helping entrepreneurs. But in terms of reselling, of course, YouTube is great, guys. I know it's a marathon, so that's just extra exposure. That's my
No.
goal, is just to post, and my videos are not great. They're terrible, guys, and you got to start somewhere. Just like with reselling, my pictures were
Yep.
terrible, the categories I was sourcing and what I was listing and what was bad. So I'm like, I'm just going to keep on posting and not get caught up on all the aesthetics, because as I get more experience, then I'll be able
Yep.
to edit better and lighting better and all that. But just share. But in terms of the reselling, is I really want to maintain that top rated status. Getting it back means so much to me because I know that I'm an awesome seller, and I provide great customer service, and just a couple of hiccups because of life can really put you
Right.
back on eBay. But if digging yourself out of that hole, oh my gosh, just is tough. But once you get there, it's just a great feeling. So I would say I'm at a little over 300 listings, but I would probably want to shoot to have about 500 to 700 because I'm part-time, guys. I'm part-time. And
Right.
so if I were full-time, I would have a lot more listings. But because I have those two businesses, I just don't have the capacity to list and have in my storage space reduced from a few hundred square feet to very little. So I have to
Right.
manage the space in my office. But I would just want to focus on that and get to that 500 to 700 listings, because I was aiming at, I'm going to do 300 listings by the end of the year, because I had about 5. I keep on getting to 300, and then because I'm selling, and what does the algorithm do, Jennifer? Once you list, you're going to start selling. So I'd get to like
100%.
305 or 310, and then I have 15 that sell, and I'm like, okay, I'm below 300, and then I'm like listing more, and then I'm like, I'm at 315 now or 313, and I'm like, okay, listed 10 today, 10 tomorrow, 10, and then another 15 or 20 sells, and I'm like, you know what? I am so blessed and so thankful that they're selling, guys. I'm very, very happy that they're selling, but I was just trying to get past 300. So I'm like, to get to 500, if what I'm listing is selling quickly, will be harder than you think. You know what I mean? Think about it. If you're listing 10 a day or 5 to 10 a day, but you're selling 50 a week, oh my gosh. I'm just like, I can. So those are my goals. I do have like 5-year goals and other things, but just for the year, I just want to get some of my listings up and also be a little bit more organized and use not just YouTube, but social media as a way to brand, including this hat. So my sister's not on here, but she bought me this hat, guys. And so every live show that I'm on, I'm wearing this hat because she's my older sister and she helped take care of me. And I wear earrings. So a little bit of marketing, branding, where not when I'm sourcing, but
You see the hat, you know who it is.
You know who I am. Like everything else may be a mess, and it also covers the hair, guys. The whole hair. When your hair is messy.
There
so
you go.
every time I just make sure I wear this hat. So that's kind of it.
I love it.
Look at that. The chat's so awesome. These are awesome.
Yes. Gina, we are so glad you were able to join us. Customer service is vital. Same here. I have too many eggs in multiple baskets. Yeah. It's full-time job doing all of it. Full-time on your socials, full-time on your eBay and your other platforms, and it's a lot. Good problem to have, Stephanie. It is. I keep chasing that 1,000 number to have 1,000 items in my store, and then I'll get to like 1,010, and then 15 sales, and I'm like, okay, 995. I can do it, and I'll list 10 more, and then 15 sell. So just keep chasing it, and then I think what am I at right now? I know I just keep chasing it. 999. Nope. Wait,
So
1,001.
close.
I listed a couple things before the store. Or before the show. So it'll be below 1,000 again. And I just keep chasing it.
It will. Because the weekends. And I'll tell you, Jennifer, I've learned so much from your show. There it is. I learned so much from your show. I found my first Sonos. So, right? Sonos, right?
Sonos, that's a big one.
It right? And I found out about that from you on your show. So I went to a thrift store. It was 50% off. I kind of paid up for it. It said it was $40, but I paid $20 for it. And I'm like, man.
Yeah. Some of them, depending on the model, they go over $100.
Yeah. This was a Play One.
Mm-hmm.
And it sold for $90 within 12 hours. Now, I didn't price it high, but I didn't lowball it. I put it kind of where the market was plus shipping, but I flipped it. It was $20 and it's, $90. I don't know what the fees are and all that, but it was a quick flip. It was a sale. And you know what? It was awesome. So that was one of the items that I found out. There's tons, but that's one on the show. I'm like, Jennifer's going to be so proud. I'm going to tell her during the show that I found my first Sonos. And I was just so thrilled.
Yes.
I was so thrilled.
That's awesome.
And then my son's like, he's like, that's on the lady's show, the Desert Sellers, right? I'm like, yes, baby, that's it, right? Mama's learning. So I was so happy.
So funny. That's awesome. All right, Mary, you hit 1,000 in October, now down to a little over 700. Yes, but sell-through rate's 50%. That's awesome.
Ooh.
Super awesome.
That's good.
I keep listing, not sure the number I'm chasing. don't know why I'm chasing it. I don't know. It's just
list.
fun. And Nutter here with over 2,000 listings and zero inventory, Stephanie. If you've seen him on my
Really?
shows, he does not have an inventory system. He just knows where he puts it.
Yes.
And I'm like, bro, I don't know how you do it.
I popped,
and
I
he
popped in. I
never
saw
loses
that
anything.
you
I
have it.
have
You
an
have it down to
inventory
a
and I
science, and
still lose stuff.
that's very impressive.
I don't
Nutter,
know how
that's
you do
very
it, Nut.
impressive. I don't know how
I
you do
don't
it.
know.
That's and if
And he
any of you
never
guys are
loses
like in the
anything.
I would be scared out of my mind when I went from 500 to 300. I donated all. I was just like, it was overwhelming. And then I got the defect, which brought me down a little. And they were like, you need to sell more items to move up. I'm like, I just donated 200 or 300 items. And
Yep.
my inventory management system was a mess. And now I have it down. I just do box A, box B, box C, and
Yep.
it's worked out and it's simplified so many things. So
Exactly. It doesn't matter what you call your boxes, as long as you put it in the
yes.
SKU and you know which box to go for. Okay, it stresses me out just thinking about it. Oh, I know. Yeah. When he shows pictures and I see like his background or during lives and stuff, I'm like, wow, I don't know how you do it.
Pretty
I
cool.
don't know how he does it. And no, yeah, nor does he have a death pile. And he's working full time, right? Or part time. He works outside of reselling. And he still does all of that. So
So impressive.
high five, Nutter, if you're
So
still in here.
impressive.
Christopher is awesome. He is awesome. All right, you guys. There's no more questions in the comments. If you guys have any other questions, oh, there's Nutter. All right. If you have any other questions for Stephanie, definitely shoot them into the comments. I did let you guys know I do have next week is
He's still
Deanna, so
there.
definitely join for that. And if any of you on here have not been a guest on my show, do like Stephanie did and shoot me an email because I want to meet all of you. So if you are a reselling mom, send me an email, DesertSellersAZ@gmail.com, and I would love to have you on. And I know I'm going to run out of moms, so eventually it'll just go to like moms and dads who resell and then probably to just resellers. I don't know. But I know I'm going to run out of moms because I'm reaching out to some big fish and they're not responding. Like I tried to reach Kat the nurse flipper. I've sent her a few emails. I haven't heard back. I've tried to reach, is it Ashley? The one that does clothing. Mom, something with mom in her title. She doesn't respond. So once they get big, of course, I was talking to, or I was messaging. I wasn't talking to, Kayla, the homeschool picker. She's big dog now. So I'm sure they don't even look at emails. So I'm going to run out of moms eventually. And Katie, I do want to get you on here. So once we get schedules lined up, I want you guys to meet her because she's a killer reseller and she's just quiet in here in the chat. Too neurotic about having that much inventory in my house. Why are there no basements in Arizona? I feel you. I feel you because I need that storage, and we can't use our garages because, as mentioned, those darn pack rats. And then we get 120 degrees in our garage, like everything would melt. So garages aren't an option, and yeah, we need more storage. It's crazy, 200 to 300 items, and still manage to get a 30K 90-day total. So that proves it's not about the quantity. That it doesn't matter how big your store is, you can still make a killing doing this. It's the quality. It's getting the right items. You are not a tiny minnow. Far from it. And you will come on one of these days. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Her kids are in sports, and Friday night's a big time for that. And it's a hard one to lock in. Veronica Havon. Yes, Veronica. I don't think she's on here. Yeah, I don't think she's on here, but I need to message her. Oh, you know Kat? Tell her I've been messaging her. I've been going on her lives because I'm just trying to like just again mingle and meet more people, right? So I'll be on her lives and I'm active. I'm saying hi and she'll say hi back. And then so at least when she sees an email from me, you'd think she'd open it. Nope. And now I'm following her whole fitness journey. She's created a new Instagram of her fitness journeys. I've been following that too. So, yes, please have her check an email. That would be lovely. I'd love to have her on. Oh, stop it. She mentored you for your first year? Shut up. Oh my goodness.
I
Yes,
love
please. Name drop for me. That would be amazing.
it. So lucky. So lucky.
Yes. Now, yeah,
That is so
she's
awesome.
amazing. And what's crazy with Kat is how many avenues of revenue. So she was talking about in one of her year-end videos or year beginning videos on, gosh, I think she said it was over $500,000 was her gross last year. And it's because of all the different channels. So not only is it her
Mhm.
YouTube and her eBay, she's got sponsors, she's got just so many different revenues. And it's like life goals. That's what I want to get to, where eBay's making money, YouTube's making money, sponsors are making
Mhm.
money. Like, I want lots of eggs. So I need to take some notes. Resellers in Arizona can turn their pools into basements. Just drain out the pool and throw your boxes
Yes.
in there. That
That's
works. That
good.
works. Until the javelina and the pack rats and the
Yeah.
rattlesnake, everybody else moves into it. It's a great idea. Oh, there you go. Have you tried
I
this
love
method? You'll have to let me know if you've tried this method. Yes, and that pesky full-time job.
it.
I feel so bad. So Katie works full-time while doing this part-time, and she'll message me and she'll like, "All right, what'd you find at the bins today? How was the bins day?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, but it was amazing." And I feel awful. Like, I'm sorry you missed it. So like the weeks that are just meh, like last week, I think I got 6 items for small potatoes, like $50, $60 items. And I'm like, okay, you'll be happy to hear this. It was awful. It was pure garbage. She's like, okay, okay with that. But yeah, that pesky full-time job. That's gotta go, Katie. There's no time for that. No time for that. Alrighty, my friends. If you haven't
She's
already,
on
make sure
her
you head
way.
over to Stephanie's channels.
Yay.
She's on Instagram, she's on TikTok. She's the cool one over there. And she's on YouTube. So all the same channel name, right? All under Lady Suburbia.
LadySaburbia. I'm just trying. That's it. Just trying, and we'll see where this goes. I love reselling, and this is just another way to get out and be part of the reseller community. And I'm
That's
very, very
awesome.
blessed and very thankful.
Well, I am so, so, so grateful that you came on, and I'm so happy to meet you. And thank you for reaching out to me because not many people do. So, yes, if you are here, be like Stephanie, shoot me an email. I want to have you on the show. I want to meet all the reselling moms because we can all learn so much from each other. And the fact that we have this just natural bond of being these multitasking super moms. I want to meet all of you. So definitely don't be shy. Reach out. Subscribe to all of Lady Suburbia's channels. This channel, if you haven't already. Thank you all in the chat
Thank
so much. It was so
you.
fun to chat with everybody. And I hope everyone has a fabulous, fabulous weekend. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Stephanie.
Jennifer.
Bye bye.
Bye.